Okay, in this video, I'm going over the main card of UFC 325 that takes place this Saturday, and it's the second card of the Paramount era. Back-to-back pay-per-views. The first pay-per-view of the year was fucking awesome. A super good way to start the year. And this one, I have a feeling, is going to match it or be even better. For the simple fact that Australian fighters tend to bang like a motherfucker. It's one of two groups that I think are the most like volatile when it comes to having great performances and exciting performances, and it's Australians and the Chinese. If you've ever stayed up late to watch one of those Chinese cards, they're always fun because they just throw caution to the wind, and so do the Australians. So I'm very excited for this card, but I'm not going over the prelims. I'm just going over the main card, starting with Quillen Southkill versus Jamie Malarkey. So this is the only fight on the card that I'm 100% confident in. The other fights on the main card are pretty much pick me's all the way to the top. It's really difficult to pick fights on this card, and I could go 0-5 or 4. I'm gonna go 1-5 because I'm gonna get this one right. This one's basically a give me fight, but this is the only one that's easy to predict. And I'm going Quillen Killed by knockout against Jamie Malarkey. It is clear as day. Quillen Killed is a finisher. He's on a streak. He's been proving himself. He's a tough, resilient young dude who's going to go in there and knock out Jamie Malarkey, who's older, has been through many finishes at this point. Not him finishing people, but him getting finished. He's had decisions recently that looked okay, but they're against shitty fighters. Glenn Southgill's 10 times better. He knocked out Nasrat Haqparast in his last fight with a fucking the nastiest head kick you've ever seen in your life, and I think he's going to keep his finish streak going against Jamie Malarkey. He's too young. He's too game to fight. Like he's too slick on the feet. He has way too much power for Jamie Malarkey at this point in his career. This is a fight that they gave Quillen to give him a ton of hype and stock value on the main card of a pay-per-view to try to build his name. They're trying to get him finishes, and Jamie Malarkey is fodder for this game plan that the UFC is putting on by trying to get Quillen killed up the rankings as quick, not as quick as possible, but as entertaining as possible. And I think they're feeding Jamie Malarkey to Quillen Killed. And it's clear as day that Quillen will knock him out. If he doesn't, then that's crazy. And Jamie, good for Jamie if he doesn't, because that'll be a big hype turnaround. It'll be a big fraud check, and Jamie will have some hype under his name. But yeah, nah, Quillen's going to win easily. Next, we have Tai Tuivasa versus Talison Teixeira. So this fight, every single fight on this card is so hard to predict. And this one is especially hard because it's heavyweight, so you really don't know at all what's going to happen. I picked Derek Lewis in the last heavyweight fight on a pay-per-view main event, which was last weekend, and I regretted that. But I'm gonna do the dumb thing again. I think I'm gonna go with Tai Tuivasa to win this fight because when you look at Tai Tuivasa's losses, and he's had 5 in a row, and he's had a big slip, and it's not looking good, and he's always fat, and he's just getting fatter. But if you look at those 5 losses that he has on his record, they're against some of the best heavyweights, bar Tybura, I guess. That's even Tybura. He's a mainstay in the heavyweight rankings. He's only losing to really the best at heavyweight. And Talison Teixeira hasn't proven shit at heavyweight and hasn't proven that he can hang with anybody of any worth. And Tai Tuivasa went on a bit of a streak and he knocked out Derek Lewis and he dropped Cyril Gahn and he had a really good run. And if he beat Cyril Gahn, if he finished Cyril Gahn in that fight, we would have been seeing Tai Tuivasa versus John Jones for the heavyweight belt. And he went on a slip, but I was to Rosenstruik, Tybura, um, shit. Gahn obviously knocked him out. Oh, there's 2 more that I'm forgetting. That's so annoying. Whatever. He's got on a finished losing streak, and it's not looking good in his career whatsoever. Oh yeah, Volkov Ezekiel choked him. Yeah, Taito Vaz is not great, but Talon Teixeira just got put out cold by Derek Lewis in his last fight with a big stupid overhand right. And if Tai Tuivasa can do anything, it's a big stupid overhand right. Teixeira got a knockout in the Contender Series, but hasn't done anything in the division. They're trying to build his name with another big fight. If he knocks out Tai Tuivasa, he'll be looking up the rankings as a very tall, very lengthy striker. But I think if you're going to beat Tai, you got to be you got to have good technical striking that can carry you through a bit of a brawl, or you got to be really good at grappling, or not even really good, somewhat good at grappling, and take Tai Tuivasa down. I don't think Taliesin Teixeira is going to have the grappling edge on Tai. I mean, he probably will if he tries, but I don't think it'll get that far. I think Tai will start swinging for the fences. I think his career's on the line. I think he knows that. I think he's going to clip Talison Teixeira and put him out cold. This might be a stupid pick in hindsight, and Talison might just put him out or resort to grappling and easily dominate the fatty. But I haven't seen much of Talison Teixeira's grappling game that points me to him dominating Tai in any way. The only real factor is that Tai is a big fat idiot who might just topple over and get beat the fuck up by guys who's 7 feet tall. But otherwise, I'm gonna trust in Tai Tuivasa's power. He's got to have some point to his mass, and I think it's the power that he brings to fights. And Talison just got chinned with an overhand right, so I don't trust Talison being able to adapt to a game plan like that in a short amount of time. I don't trust his chin anymore. I'm gonna go Tai. Until Talison Teixeira proves me wrong and wins a fight, I don't think I'm gonna pick him again unless it's like against an absolute can. I think Talison needs to win one to earn back my trust in a pick for him. So yeah, Tai Tuivasa, risky pick, but I think he's gonna win. Next, we have Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Ruffi. This one is so fun. This is one of the best fights ever. Such a cool striking match. Might end up being boring because of how good both of them are on the feet. But this one is incredibly hard to predict as well. And it's going to be a banger. And I love both of these fighters, so I really don't want either of them to lose. But I really think Rafael Fiziev, God, I think I'm going to go with Rafael Fiziev. I think I'm going to go with him to win. The Benoit Saint Denis loss is not a good look for Mauricio Ruffi. I'm not going to lie. Before the Mauricio Ruffi win for Benoit, he literally, and I'll get to Benoit in a minute, but he literally was dog shit in everybody's eyes. The way Moicano absolutely obliterated him, and the fact that Moicano is kind of ass himself, or he's coming to the end of his career. He's not like super bad or anything, but he's coming to the end of his career. He's obviously looking slower and sloppy, and he's been getting beat in his last couple of fights pretty easily. The fact that he absolutely destroyed Benoit in the grappling and put him in a just coma basically, and then Benoit goes in there and takes Ruffy's striking and grapple fucks him and chokes him out is a terrible sign going into a fight against anybody in the top 5 at lightweight or top 10 at lightweight. But Rafael Fiziev, he could resort to grappling. He's done it before. He did it against Bahamondes, and it worked. So he could do that in this fight, and he's looking strong. He's looking ripped, more ripped than usual. I think he could definitely use that if push comes to shove in this fight. But they're both of their fortes are striking. Ruffy is a little bit more aggressive with his he's very powerful and he likes to style on his opponents, and he is a rangy Conor McGregor-esque style, karate style, throwing spinning shit and long straight shots, and he's super elusive and sick to watch. And Fiziev kind of gets in tight, and he's really good with his matrix dodging, and he can weave head kicks, doing the limbo and shit. Fiziev has really good in tight boxing, but the thing about Fiziev's losses as of late, the bad look is Gaethje, because he lost to Gaethje twice, but the first time was very close, and he was on a full camp, and that was a different Gaethje. It was a more in shape, in his prime Gaethje. And then the second fight, it was Rafael's first fight after his ACL tear on a week's notice against Justin Gaethje. And he lost, but it was a very close fight. I think it's a very good look for Fiziev in general going into a fight. I could see Rafael Fiziev dodging some punches, maybe getting hit up a little bit because Ruffy's quick and he's very good on the feet, but I could see him getting in close, kind of starting to unload in the pocket, maybe making a clinch game out of it, and landing some shots on Ruffy on the feet. Ruffy's been KO'd before, so I really don't like it inside the pocket for Fiziev, or for Ruffy. I know Fiziev got dropped by an uppercut, and Ruffy has a really mean, fucking lethal uppercut, but it's really just the Benoit performance and Ruffy has great finishes. Don't get me wrong, but he also took a lot of punches to finish Jamie Malarkey. He spinning wheel kicked Bobby Green, but my grandma could knock out Bobby Green. He couldn't knock out James Lontop, but he does have a dynamite chin, so it's kind of hard to say. It's just weird. Ruffy's gone against a bunch. He's gone. I really just don't know how to judge Ruffy's performances yet. But the one that's most recent in my mind is him getting grapple fucked by Benoit Saint Denis and kind of crumbling under pressure. And I think if Fiziev puts on a similar pressure with his build and his stocky size and his ability to move out of the way of strikes and him on a full camp, I think he's going to probably get this one done. I think Ruffy's going to start to break as the fight goes on and cardio starts to get heavy on him and Fiziev starts to build into it. He could probably resort to grappling. At this point, I'm going to go with Fiziev to win this fight. Ruffy could knock him out, but Fiziev has a hell of a chin as well. I think just Fiziev's a little bit more reliable in this fight. But it's very close, very exciting. I'm going to be very impartial watching this fight because I love both of these fighters. But yeah, I think I'm leaning Fiziev to win. Just, I can't trust Ruffy at this point after the Benoit fight. And Fiziev, even though he's lost, and he's lost recently, a week's notice after an ACL tear, I think that excuses you a loss against one of the best, against the interim champ at lightweight at the moment, to be honest. So I'm going to go with Fiziev as of right now. Very good fight, though. Could go either way. Would not be surprised if Ruffy just chins him. But yeah, I'm going to go with Rafael Fiziev. Next, we have Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint Denis. I know I just shit all over Benoit Saint Denis like 2 seconds ago, but I think I'm going to go with Benoit Saint Denis. And it's hard to say. This one's also like stupid close because Dan Hooker has just looked great and he's been in these wars, so he knows what Benoit's bringing to the table. He's been there before. But the thing about Dan Hooker is he's taking a short, like a 2 month turnaround after he just got grapple fucked, beat to shit. He looked like a caveman and choked out by Arman Sarukian in their I think it was either he got beat the fuck up and submitted by Arman Sarukian. Was it a submission or was it TKO? Either way, it was either a ground and pound. I think he got submitted. Either way, it doesn't matter. Arman Sarukian destroyed him a month ago, left him looking like a caveman. His face was so swollen, it was insane after that fight. And now he's taking a week's turnaround. And Arman headbutted him in the weigh-ins before that fight and broke his nose. And he's taking this fight against Benoit. Benoit's had a full camp. He's had a lot of time to rest after his last fight. And he likes these wars. And Benoit's a fucking grappler. He's gonna grapple Dan Hooker if he needs to. And after his knockout loss to Poirier, we have seen him full on go into that realm of the fight game, just takedown heavy, kind of drawing fights to a hold a little bit, making it a little bit boring. We've seen that kind of tend to be his game plan as in his most recent performances. I could definitely see him doing that against Dan Hooker, who just got grapple fucked in his last fight a month ago. Dan Hooker could obviously do what he does, stuff takedowns. I mean, it's so hard with Hooker too. Lightweight is so stupid. Benoit Saint Denis got destroyed by Ronaldo Moicano. Just destroyed. Terrible look. And then Hooker gets destroyed by Arman Sarukian. But he stuffed out a bunch of Gamrot's takedowns and was able to beat Gamrot. And Gamrot's a way better technical grappler than Benoit. But Benoit's probably going to give him more pressure than he can handle on the feet as well. This is a really hard fight to predict. But I think it's going to come down to momentum. Because it's really hard. But I'm going to go with momentum on this one. I'm going to say that Dan Hooker, just coming off a loss a month ago to a grappler, and Benoit is coming in with a grappling game plan, and he's coming off of a little bit of a streak. So I'm going to go with Benoit to win by decision, maybe submission in like the third round after some big moments, a big war. I think the first and second, there's going to be some grappling exchanges, some holding against the cage, maybe a takedown or two. Dan Hooker will get up. They'll start exchanging on the feet. Benoit will take some heavy shots, but he won't go down. Hooker will start to do the same. Then Benoit, start around 3, throws some dumb shit, throws the slowest kick you've ever seen in your life, goes for a takedown, gets it, starts landing shots on the ground a little bit. Hooker tries to like explode up and gets latched up in a choke. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. But it really could go either way. Like I said, this entire card could just go either way, and I could go 0-5 really easily, which makes it really fun, and I'm very excited for it. But as of right now, I'm going Benoit Saint Denis. He has the momentum. I think he's going to be able to keep it going. And Dan Hooker's kind of been, I don't know. This turnaround, I don't think is good. I think it's a bad sign for him mentally. Like he needs to get back in there and right it. Like it's been hurting him outside of fighting. Like maybe his confidence is down or the stuff with Patty. He seems a little bit like irritated mentally as of late. And I think that isn't a good sign for him going in there against Benoit. So yeah, I'm going to go with Benoit, but very close, as I said. Could go either way. Next, Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez, the main event, the rematch that nobody asked for, but it's still going to be a very fun fight. So the first fight, Alexander Volkanovski was able to kind of show he was able to show his championship toughness and what it means to be a champ for so long and he kind of styled on Lopez at moments. And he didn't beat him up by any means, but he easily beat him by decision, and it was a little bit easy he, to beat him by decision and just stay elusive on the back foot and beat him up and land shots when he needed to, and he got the decision. And that was very impressive because I picked Diego Lopez in the first fight. The second fight, I'm also going to pick Diego Lopez again, I think. I'm really I just have a really bad feeling for Volkanovski in this fight. I had a really bad feeling for him in the first fight, and that fight happened, and I was like, holy shit, Volk's back, and he's just as good as he's ever been, and all that. But going into this fight, I don't know. Diego Lopez being in there for 50 minutes against Diego Lopez and not taking a shot flush that's going to put you out is very unlikely, in my opinion. I think Volkanovski, he's looked good, and he looked good in his last fight, but he's getting older. His shin's getting worse. He's gotten shinned twice. 25 more minutes against a finisher like Lopez, who is coming off of a knockout against Gene Silva, who's a much more aggressive and hard to finish opponent than Volk at this point in his career, I would say. Eh. Oh, I might not say harder to finish because Volk's obviously only getting finished by the best fighters on earth. But he's definitely older. And Volkanovski's coming into this fight with a little bit of a different game plan. He said it himself that he wants to come in and kind of meet Diego in the middle and start throwing more and being less afraid on the back foot, which I don't think he's going to, if he's smart, I don't think he's going to stick to those words as this fight plays out. Because I think he needs to play his game plan, which is being elusive on the back foot and landing shots when he needs to, landing his kicks, landing his jab when he needs to, and staying out of Diego Lopez's game plan, which is to make it a firefight, take shots to give shots, make it a barn burner like he always does, because his chin is unbreakable. I think Volkanovski, if he's going to win, needs to do the exact same thing he did, pretty much. But at the same time, Diego has fought him for 25 minutes. He's going in there again. I think he might adapt. I think he might land some more shots than he needs to. And in that first fight, he was whiffing on a couple that were just devastating if they would have landed. And in there, it's just, it's hard for me to accept that Volkanovski will be able to do that type of performance twice in a row against such a dangerous opponent in Diego Lopez. So I'm going to go with Diego Lopez by knockout in the second or third round. No, it'll be later, the third or fourth round. I think Diego Lopez will knock him out. I think he'll find the shot this time. I think it'll start out similar. I think Diego will be a lot more urgent early in this fight. He knows what Volkanovski's giving to him. He knows he can take it. I think he's going to be like, this is my shot. I wasted the first one. I got to go for broke in this fight. I think he's going to go for grappling. I think he's going to try to make it close, clinch up, land shots as fast and hard as he can as early as possible. I think he's going to clip Volkanovski and put him out, which is which kind of sucks because I kind of want Volk to win because it would be sick for Volk to win against such a dangerous opponent back to back and then go up to lightweight or fight Movzar because I think he beats Movzar. I honestly think Volk beats every other featherweight contender. Lerone Murphy, Movzar, maybe not Gene Silva. That's another. I forgot about Gene Silva. He might also be an opponent that could chin Volk up the rankings. But Lerone Murphy, Movzar, Aljamain, Gary Rodriguez, obviously. All the other featherweight contenders, I think Volkanovski pretty much clears out. But these finishers, these powerful, kind of insane people like Diego Lopez and Gene Silva, I think are going to give him trouble as Volk starts to age and as he starts to get a little bit testier with his chin. I don't like it. So I'm going to go with Diego Lopez to win by knockout. And I'm sad about it. But if Volkanovski does it again, then holy shit, I was wrong. And Volkanovski's the best featherweight ever. And possible 2 more fights he needs to go to the fucking sport, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Diego Lopez, even though Volkanovski beat him in the first fight. So let me know what you think about that. If I'm crazy, I would like you to tell me. So yeah, I think that's about it. I will see you soon.